2015. Across central Syria, government forces are in retreat. The coalition of terror known as Islamic State seizes the ancient city of Palmyra.
Palmyra has always been strategically important. It has attracted the Roman army, it attracted Mark Antony, it attracted the Assad regime that encamped there for a long time, and now it's attracted ISIS.
The UN puts the World Heritage Site under satellite surveillance.
When we first heard that ISIS had taken Palmyra, we were very concerned that we were going to see the complete destruction of the site because we had seen that in other areas that ISIS controlled.
The focus of ISIS attention is the 2,000-year-old Temple of Baal.
Boom.
This is a magnificent temple set in a huge sanctuary. It's about twice the size of Vatican Square.
The very existence of the structure is an affront to their beliefs.
With respect to ISIS, the Temple of Baal presents a real problem, a double whammy, if you will. Firstly, it's a false god, according to Islam, so that's not good. But even more important, it represents Beelzebub, who is the devil, who is completely the enemy of their one true God.
Centuries ago, both Muslims and Christians believed Baal was a fallen angel, expelled from heaven along with an army of demons. Satan personified. For ISIS, a temple to Baal is like a monument to the Antichrist. In September 2015, satellite imagery confirms the UN's worst fears. ISIS has wiped the Temple of Baal off the face of the earth. For them, it was a temple to Satan. But to the ancient peoples who lived in this city, Baal was no devil. He was their god of gods, possessing many faces, one of which had power over storms and agriculture. His massive temple complex in the heart of Palmyra was a symbol of the wealth and power of this desert city, perched on the border between the Roman and Persian empires.
Palmyra was a trading hub at the crossroads of ancient civilizations, and it just kept growing.
Now, Islamic State's act of destruction has focused world attention on the city, and the wealth of satellite images offers archaeologists investigating its history a new perspective.
Satellite imagery gives us a bird's eye view of human settlements and their broader environmental realities.
You can see things you can only spot from space.
In the case of Palmyra, it enabled us to understand better its relationship to the landscape in ways that would have been impossible from the ground.
Archaeologists have an opportunity to answer a fundamental question about ancient Palmyra.
How did a city as large as Palmyra survive in the desert 2,000 years ago?
The desert city must have faced problems with water and food.
If you have a population to feed, you are going to need to create that food, and to support your agricultural needs, you're going to have an irrigation system that will supply water to create the crops.
Palmyra was fed by a water source called the Ekfa Spring that was active until the 1990s. But the spring could never have sustained a population of 100,000 people.
We know Palmyra was a relatively large town in the middle of the desert. It's hard to imagine a spring like that could actually sustain such a large population.
If the Ekfa Spring could not supply water to such a large city, where else was it getting its water?
Satellite imagery can provide a clue to how the city got the water it needed to grow into the vast metropolis that built the Temple of Baal.
Satellite images often enable us to see the larger landscape. So in the areas of Palmyra, we don't just see pure desert, we also see arid steppes.
Arid steppe is a kind of rocky grassland, a halfway house between desert and prairie.
These arid steppes do have rainfall sometimes of the year. They often have little river valleys, these wadis that we call.
Wadis are channels resembling riverbeds carved into the ground by rain. In these deserts, rain is rare, but when it comes, it's sudden and it's heavy.
The word wadi simply means a valley or a stream. These are quite dramatic in areas with high but very short-term concentrations of rainfall. So rain over a week or so might strip down steep-sided valleys and then just flow off into aquifers deep below landscape.
Images from the Landsat satellite show a huge network of wadis to the north and west of the city. But for Palmyra to expand to a size that could have supported the Temple of Baal, it would have needed a system to bring water in from afar. Further satellite images reveal a complex system of water channels and underground canals called qanats, directed toward the city from almost 20 miles across the desert.
What we're seeing are access holes of features that are called qanats. Qanats are underground irrigation features that transport water from higher elevation to lower elevation. Qanats are quite expensive in the Near East. They are found in places like Turkey, in Iran, mountainous regions with valleys that need irrigation.
In the years prior to the temple's destruction, archaeologists digging in Palmyra discovered the remains of the water distribution system.
There is, or at least there was, a magnificent marble water tank that was connected to a complex series of underground canals. There was also evidence of a sophisticated series of water pipes.
This ingenious engineering was what ultimately enabled the people of Palmyra to build one of the wonders of the world.
The secret of Palmyra's success in terms of water management was long-term engineering, development over centuries, and for that you need the political will, the military peace, and the economic background that could really exploit this.
If anyone in ancient Palmyra ever asked the question, what did the Romans do for us? The answer was in the water they drank and the food they ate.
The city reached its peak in the 3rd century AD, when it even challenged the might of the Roman Empire before the Romans brought it down. After that, the Golden City slowly crumbled into decline. Today, the Temple of Baal is gone forever. An army of killers stands guard over the site of its destruction, but the evidence of their crimes can still be seen from space.